Hi, my name's David Wright, and today I'm with Nick McNamee, and he's in the UK, and he's going to tell us all about the Irish passport route. This is a way that a lot of British people might not understand, but they can have if they go back into some history. They might be able to get here and live and work in Spain. So, hi, Nick, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, David. How are you? You well?
Very well. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day today. I've just been cleaning the pool. It's going to be a scorcher today. So not quite warm enough to go in the pool yet. Maybe next week, but we'll see. So Nick, first of all, where are you in the UK?
Yeah, so Chorley, Lancashire. For reference for people, that's about 30 minutes north of Manchester.
Perfect. And so Nick, you've been wanting to come out to Spain for some time, and I believe that you've may have found a way that you can do it. And so this is the Irish passport route. So first of all, Nick, what made you think about going down the Irish passport route anyway?
Yeah, in a word, Brexit. Obviously, we've wanted to come out there for a good few years now, and that was the plan up until Brexit, and then freedom of movement was taken away. So, that didn't stop our dream or want or need to be out there. So we started looking at alternative routes. So
Yeah.
that's really what triggered it. That and like I said, we wanted to move out to Spain for a better way of life, what we perceive to be a better way of life.
Yeah, so let's just clear this up. So, with the Irish passport, obviously, with the Brexit and the European Union and everything, so the idea of the Irish passport means that you will have freedom of movement, and
Yep.
you can come and go without any restrictions at all. Is that correct, Nick?
Yeah, exactly that. Once I've obtained my Irish passport, that's it. I can live and work in Spain, in Europe, and my wife and family, as in siblings, not siblings, my wife and daughter can come with us, and do the same.
Yeah. So how did you find out about this, Nick, initially?
Just through doing a little bit of digging on the internet. Obviously, once the freedom of movement was taken away, I desperately wanted to find a way to get out there, and it looked pretty difficult. It looked like it was dream over until I started looking into it, and then the information was relatively easy to find. In that you can, if you've got Irish ancestry, you can apply for foreign birth registration, which means being entered onto the foreign birth registry as an Irish descendant. Now, I knew that my grandfather was Irish, so it seemed like the logical way to go with it. The difficult part started when I started the process, and then started trying to get all the documentation and everything else together.
Yeah. So how far back can you go, Nick? Is there a limit to how far back in the history you can go?
Yeah, I mean, great grandparents. To give you a definitive answer, that's as far back as you can go. But there are certain caveats with that, and there's certain things that boxes that need to be ticked with regards to great grandparents. That isn't an easy route, but it is a route, and it's the furthest back you can go. Just briefly, the caveats that need to be addressed, the boxes that need to be ticked with the great grandparents. The child of the great grandparent, so for instance, for you, the child of your great grandparent, your grandfather, grandmother, would have had to have taken Irish citizenship. Yes, they were born to an Irish citizen, but it doesn't necessarily follow that they took that Irish citizenship. So
Right.
that Irish citizenship needs to have dropped down into that tier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So they're not breaking a chain then, and such.
Exactly that, yeah. For example, I went via my grandfather. He was Irish. My father didn't take Irish citizenship, so I couldn't necessarily get it straight away from my father. I had to go back to my grandfather. So if that makes sense, that chain needs to be there. But great grandparents is where the line ends. That's where the government over in Ireland, the DFA, they draw the line on that.
So how long ago did you start the ball rolling, filling in the first pieces of paper to process it?
Right. Well, online application. I mean, I first started thinking about it 4 years ago, but online application, I put in November. What year are we in now? 23. COVID's muddled my memory. When November 21 was when the online application went in. That's the first stage of it. You go online, fill in the basic details, pay your fee, and send that off.
Right, now I know there's a lot of things in between, but just tell us where you are at the moment from the start. So now, which is the finish, where are you?
Mhm.
What's the outcome? You've actually got the paperwork now. Just tell us a little bit about where you are at this moment.
Yeah, so where I'm at now, I got my congratulations email this Wednesday just gone. So I'm now officially an Irish citizen. So I'm now in the process of applying for my Irish passport, which won't be an issue because I'm now on the registry and I'm now Irish. So that's where I'm at. So as you can see, I'm pretty pleased about that.
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day.
It was, yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any Guinness. They were sold out everywhere I went, so I missed out. But I'll make up for that this afternoon.
Yeah, good one. So Nick, what problems did you? I mean, you did this all yourself. You didn't get somebody to help you, although you can get people, you can pay people, and I've heard people paying quite a lot of money to do this. But it's something you can do yourself, and this is what you did. You did it all yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong; it was quite daunting. I've never looked into my ancestry. I've never done anything like this before. And I did think, you know, it's going to be easier for me to get someone to do this for me. And with hindsight, it would have been a damn sight easier, to be honest. But I looked into it, and it was costings that put me off. As you touched on there, I spoke to 3 different consultancies, companies that would help with this, and the lowest amount I was quoted, I think, was £1,800, not euros, and that then went up to, with the quotes, the most I was quoted was just shy of £3,000, and they were saying they would handle the whole process for me. And I was told that they could get it done a lot quicker, which isn't the case. You know, the department or in birth registry don't move any quicker for any company. It happens at the pace that it happens. So yes, I decided from a cost point of view, I just found that a little bit on the steep side, that I'd do it myself. I'd just dive in, look at it, and do it myself. But as you said, it was a bit of a minefield, many pitfalls to overcome.
But all done online, I presume.
So the initial application is done online. Essentially, yeah, I mean, the main part of it is done online. You put your online application in, that then sits with them, doesn't go anywhere, nothing happens with it until you then back that up with certification documentation. So from that, you need all sorts of certificates pertaining to the relative that you are claiming citizenship from, in this case, my grandfather. So I needed birth, death, marriage certificates, and then down to my father, the same, and then my certificates, the same. I sent more certification than I needed to. For instance, my dad was married 3 times, so I had to dig around and find 3 different marriage certificates. Needn't necessarily have sent them, but I wanted to send everything I could to make sure there were no hiccups. So yeah, there was all sorts of little bits and bats of problems as to where to get it from, where to find the information. You know, do I have the right information? It's not as simple as just sending a name off on an email saying, can I have, you know, my dad's name? Can I have his birth certificate? There's all sorts of reference points and so on you need to quote. So I found all this out, and it's quite lengthy, hence it took the time. So online application for me went in November 21. I didn't get all the documentation together and sent until the 22nd of April 2022. You know, so there was kind of like a 5-6 month delay there between me putting the application in and managing to get all the paperwork together and ensuring it was correct.
Yeah. So what are costs involved? What have you estimated more or less it's cost you from start to finish?
I suppose, you know, taking into account postage and various, you know, stationery and stuff like that you need to get, because you need to put everything into files and label it. Everything needs to be done very, very clearly. You can't just throw it all in an envelope and chuck it out there. You need to make sure that it's there, you know, pigeonholed for them to look at, because they are particular about who they'll grant it to and who they won't. You might be entitled, but if you don't send that in the right way, it's just going to get delayed. So cost-wise, I'm probably looking about £400 to £500, I'd say, as a ballpark figure. That includes the online application. That was the bulk of it. That is online application, I believe, is €278. That's your application fee. Pays for your certification, and it pays for your postage of documents back to you once you're on the register.
So big savings then, really.
Big savings compared to the companies that I spoke to, but obviously they're providing a service, so you know, I get it, and they're there to make a profit. I understand that. I just felt that money could be better spent on our move to Spain. and I thought, well, I'll give it a go myself before I kind of pay that money out. But I would certainly, again, say to people, have a think about getting someone who knows what they're doing to help you with it. It will save you a lot of time. And you know, I had to do a fair amount of traveling as well with this. I received the correct certificates, but there were certain details that were incorrect on those certificates. You know, and then I needed to travel to the relevant registrar's office, get them changed, and awful lot of messing around, which can be done by someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So I presume now, Nick, you're the expert in this. You've been through it, you've done it, you've seen all the problems and the hiccups and got over it or found solutions for it, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And you're offering to help other people. You've got a site up and running now, I believe. So we're going to leave a link to that site below. What can people expect from that? What are they going to get if they come over and ask you for some advice?
Yeah, so you know, we've got a Facebook page that I set this up last year, and I've never really done anything with it purely because I was still going through the process. But I set it up thinking there must be so many other people out there that are thinking, well, my route to Spain's over, it's gone. And then they look at this, and it can be quite daunting, like I said, to look at it. I looked at it, and I thought, geez, you know, can I really do this? I didn't know where to start. So I thought, well, if I can set something up and pass some information on, let's do that. So I published the Facebook page last week. It's got some information on there. There's more content to come, but bear in mind it's only just been published. And on that's just going to give some tips, little bits of nuggets of my experience and things that I think people should look out for if they're going to go down this route. And it'll also have some information on there and news about the foreign birth registration process, how they're moving on, how the backlog's being dealt with, and so on and so on. Over on our site, which is going to be a members site, there's all sorts of things you can get over there. So what I'm offering on the members site is free consultation. Now I had to pay £160 for my consultation with one company, and that was purely to determine my eligibility. It was a chat like this, and it was just to determine if I had eligibility to apply, and then a bit of a sales pitch from them about how they could help me. So the members site is going to have all of that on. It's going to have tips on doing it yourself. There's going to be a package over there whereby you can basically download all the information you need to do this yourself, with all the links, the things you should look out for, which websites to go to, which addresses you need to know, everything. So if you want to do it yourself, that'll be over there for you. And also going forward in a more fluid way, again, there'll be more updates on there, more videos that I'm doing with different people, videos like this, and details on moving to Spain and speaking to experts like yourself on the subject.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and obviously people are going to have to pay a small fee for this, but it really is a very small fee to get it from somebody that's just actually been through it, isn't it?
Oh, exactly that. And like I said, I'll reiterate, there's some detail on the Facebook page, but you know, that's detail that you could find if you dug around yourself, but I'm putting it all in one place. But on the members site, I'm trying to go that little bit deeper, and this is for people that are actually serious about looking into it. Now, with regards to a consultation fee, I've in my work life, I've been a consultant for the past 20 years into businesses and people and running their businesses. That's what I've done. So from a consultative point of view, I'm experienced in that. Bear in mind, I've got almost a decade's experience in this now, because we've been thinking about it for that long. Started the process off actually seriously looking at it 4 years ago. So it's a fair amount of experience, and I've come up against a few brick walls with it. So I can certainly help people. Now, my consultative approach on the members site isn't going to be, I'm not going to be charging people money for that. That'll come as part of the starter package, which is a minimal cost for you to access real-time information coming through from foreign birth registration. And I'm more than happy to give my time up on a video or a phone call or an email to gather some information and determine your eligibility to go down that route.
Yeah, brilliant. I always say to people, it's like when I set up my groups and sites and things like that, you know, if you want what other people have got, you have to do what other people do or have done, you know, and there's nothing better than following somebody that's just done exactly what it is that you want to do. You know, like, for example, in your case, it's the Irish passport. For me, you know, it's moving to Spain, what visa they need, how do they do it, or building a house here in Spain. I've built my own house. you know, you need to connect with someone that's done what it is that you want to do, and you can learn so much from that because they've just done it. So, you know, there are experts out there, and I always advise to seek professional help, lawyers and things like that, yes, but when you've actually been through the process yourself, it's still there, it's fresh in your mind. You can save a lot of money by following and getting the info straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So we'll put a link to your site below this, Nick. Just tell us where.
Yep.
So, what are your plans now? What's the future plans for you? You're moving to Spain. Where you're moving to, and what's the date line on this?
Yeah, so soonest we're looking at is kind of a 12-month move across. The most it's going to be, we're thinking, is 18 months. We've got considerations around our youngest school. So we need to look into schools over there. With regards to work and so on, we have all sorts of ideas as to what we're going to do, and we've got things going on at the moment that will support us over there. So with regards to area, we're looking around the Benel, Madenef, Wenherola areas, maybe 10 to 15 minutes inland from there. That ticks a lot of boxes for some of the business ideas that we've got. And we like the area. We've been there before, and we just like the area. And we'd like a strong expat community as well, just to help that integration, certainly for us and also for our daughter. So that's where we're looking at. That's the plan. You know, we've got kind of an 18-month plan that's kicking off now. Now I've got the Irish citizenship. It's time to start the ball rolling. So we're going to be shooting over there, hopefully in April, but it is Easter, so that might be a bit iffy. But we'll be over there in the next couple of months as a certainty to start kicking these things off, looking at schools, speaking to people, looking at areas, looking at property.
Yeah, we'll bring plenty of suntan cream with it. It's started to warm up nicely now. It's I had a drink with someone the other day at an event I went to, sat outside for about 20 minutes, and it was really hot. I got my first sunburn this summer. So yeah, it's starting to warm up here fast now. So well, great.
Yeah,
Thanks very much for that,
use
Nick. Yeah, I'll leave a link below this video, and people can get in touch with you and get the information firsthand, and maybe we open to other people. So yeah, hopefully get into Spain soon, and we'll meet up very soon in April, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm open to any questions. If people want to contact me via the passport page, via the Facebook page. Facebook page is Irish Passport Route to Spain. And I'm happy for people to contact me there, have a look at some details, go across, have a look at our members page. At the moment, it's on a waiting, on a holding pattern. You can go across, register your interest for no charge. As soon as it goes live, you'll be the first to get an email, and it'll tell you that we've gone live, and all the information will be available. That'll be going live later today. So if you're interested, get onto the Facebook page, get the link off this video, and register your interest and take a look around.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for that indeed, Nick. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David. Take care.